As an author, what do you think of this guy?
I'm really enjoying him. I think we really enjoyed Mistborn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was, like, I enjoyed it because it flowed well.
especially compared to Way of Kings. It's super like people were right that it was the way to start his books.
He's very good at building the world, building the characters, and not feeling like sometimes other writers choose characters just to not be part of the story but further the story along. They're kind of just filler. It doesn't feel like he writes like that. It doesn't feel like he feels like he's actually building a world. And even if there's a character that's only there for like a couple pages, it doesn't feel like it's an empty shell. Like there's somebody there that came in and came out. Talk about your books.
Oh, what we've been reading?
So we started, Mackenzie got me a 3-book series.
This is a ship with no damn captain, I'll tell you that much.
This is planned. This is as structured as it gets.
So now you're getting a window into my life.
So Mackenzie got me 3 books, a 3-book series called...
Oh gosh.
Mistborn?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I wanted to get Alex into the Brandon Sanderson books because, as we've mentioned before on our previous episodes, we're big fans of Red Rising. We read a lot of high fantasy, sci-fi, all in between. I'd never read Brandon Sanderson books, but I also kind of wanted to get into them, so I bought Alex. I had heard that the Mistborn trilogy was like the best way to get into his Cosmere universe or whatever, and to get really into his stuff. So I had bought Alex the trilogy for his birthday, and then we decided to read them together. So we finished the original trilogy, and then we moved on to the Way of Kings. We haven't read any like in-between stuff, like any novellas or anything. So we just read the original trilogy, the Mistborn, and then I'm halfway through Way of Kings, and you're like probably like 70%.
Yeah.
So of the first book.
As an author, what do you think of this guy?
I'm really enjoying him. I think we really enjoyed Mistborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, like, I enjoyed it because it flowed well. I was really sad. I mean,
I don't think you can give spoilers.
Okay. I was really sad
By some of the choices. Plot twists.
Right off the first book. To me, I love the first books because I love world building. I love when everything is new and you're meeting people, and what's beyond that wall you don't know. We're still going and expanding the world. That's my favorite part. So I always love the first books. The second and third books, I start kind of like, okay. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I feel like it didn't have any hang-ups. Like you weren't like,
There was a lot of things that from the beginning I was like, oh, how's he going to tie that up? And he did.
He did
so
beautifully.
He did really well flowed 3 books.
It wasn't just like, one big arc and that's it.
And the other thing that's nice about it is it's high fantasy, but like it definitely, especially compared to Way of Kings, it's super like people were right that it was the way to start his books. Because like if we had picked up Way of Kings, it would have been like, oh my gosh, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But it's super slow. Like Way of Kings is super slow. It's super
There's so
long.
many characters. There are different parts of the world.
And I'm really enjoying Way of Kings. Like, don't get me wrong, but at the same time,
I think
if that had been number 1, I don't think I could have gotten into it. Like,
he's very good at building the world, building the characters, and not feeling like sometimes other writers choose characters just to not be part of the story but further the story along. They're kind of just filler. It doesn't feel like he writes like that. It doesn't feel like he feels like he's actually building a world. And even if there's a character that's only there for like a couple pages, it doesn't feel like it's an empty shell. Like there's somebody there that came in and came out.
Yeah, he ties up every loose end. Like every connection is drawn and made,
so
which is super good. Because that's one thing that, like with those giant books.
The series, of the Mistborn one.
Yeah.
He tied everything.
Because even with Red Rising, which we're huge fans of, but there were sometimes some things that like felt unfinished. Which obviously he's not done writing either, but at the same time, the original trilogy stands on its own.
The idea of that book and the first book of that is just incredible.
Red Rising.
Yeah. The first book of Red Rising is incredible.
I think the first 3 is like it's its own. It's incredible.
But
it stands on its own.
You can see his limitations, the writer's limitations. Like you can pin them. You can be like, okay, he's incredible in this story.
Compared to Brandon Sanderson's strengths.
Exactly. And you can see the weaknesses of the writer and be like, this would have been like my best, most favorite trilogy of everything of ever if for Red Rising was better writing romance. Because at certain point, it just feels like, do
Yeah,
they
and
like each
it's
other?
not, yeah, and it's not like, yeah, you definitely see Pierce Brown's limitations in relationship arcing and stuff like that. So I think that's a big part of it that made the Mistborn stuff a lot better. Plus the magic system in Mistborn was just really fun.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel cheesy. I was kind of worried when I was like reading it. I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's all this metal stuff. I'm like, I don't know, it feels like it's going to be cheesy. But I felt it wasn't cheesy at all. So.
It is pretty dumb. Like you swallow metal and you
Yeah.
use it for magic. But at the same time, when you're reading it, you're not like...
She's like, when she's like
you're
dropping horseshoes and jumping from horseshoe to horseshoe.
Like
I'm
when
like,
you
it
say
sounds
it,
dumb,
it sounds
but
ridiculous. But in the book, you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Like you're like,
it flows.
yeah.
It's good. Because, like, for example, the other book that you're a huge fan of that I'm really struggling to get into, what is it? The one with the Chromaria?
Prism, Light Prism, or...
Oh, the Black Prism is the first book, I think.
Black Prism.
The Lightbringer series.
The Lightbringer series.
Yeah, so, like, that's one of Alex's like,
I love
favorite
Kit.
series.
Oh, but it is so hard. It took me so much to get into the book.
And the first book is like 1,500 pages or something, and
Yeah.
I'm like 800 pages in. Like, I'm like, it's 73% there or something. And I just can't, because the magic system to me feels so cheesy.
Yeah.
That every time the magic is used, it pulls me out of the story. Because I'm really liking the characters and I can see where it would go and I'm like, I could get into it. But every time I pick up the book, the magic system just makes me cringe so hard. I don't know. So like, whereas I thought the metals might be the same. Because I'm like, it's the same kind of like cheesy factors. Like, oh, magic with metal or like magic with color. It's like, they're both pretty cheesy. But, well, for example, even the Way of King's magic system kind of reminds me of the Lightbringer series because it's like they're using like gemstones and stuff like that. It could be a lot cheesier, but I think he's doing it better than, hate to say it, than the Lightbringer series does it. But then again, like I'm not, I only like partway through.
I say yes because
Of the first book,
you're
it's
right.
like a huge
It
series.
was a lot easier to get into the books and accept. Because when it comes to fantasy and made up magic woo-woo, like you don't want to step out of the world. You want to be able to be immersed and not think about like, oh, this is kind of not real. This is kind of
too
fake.
cheesy or
This
like
is too
whatever.
cheesy.
It needs to be very well integrated.
Like in TB, they call it breaking the fourth wall. Like you're breaking the world and the reality that you're reading in and stepping out of it. So you're in and out like, oh, and this book does great when you're reading it or you're listening or whatever you're doing, however you're consuming it. You don't have those times. Like he's so good at keeping the pace where you don't doubt it. You're like you're going with it. You're going with it, and you never have a point where like you break out of their universe and be like, oh, they have magic colors coming out of their fingernails.
Yeah.
The other one, the Black Prism.
I find you do.
Yeah. But when you get into it, you're so invested into some characters when you want to see it through.
Yeah. So I think 2026 is our year of Brandon Sanderson because, I mean, it's taken us almost a month to get through Way of Kings. And that's the first book.
Yeah. But I am listening to it in audiobook, but it's the theatrical audiobook.
Yeah, Alex likes those.
A movie in your mind.
I hate it.
They always start the
hate it
audiobooks
so
like
much.
this. Do the thing?
They do it. A movie in your mind.
And it's different actors and sound effects. And
Boom, boom. Oh my gosh.
It's fun. What book? You're a massive reader, so you've read through everything. I think
A lot of different genres, a lot of different everything.
What's the very first book once our buddy grows up enough to read like an actual novella, like an actual book? What's the first book that you would give her? And then once she's already a reader, what's like a series? And you're like, all right, sink your teeth into this series and experience it.
I mean, it has to be Harry Potter, right?
How many books is that? And that's so many serious topics.
But they start so slow.
I guess the once you read it, but what if she's a fast reader? She gets to the sad and weird parts and it's like, you're going to Harry Potter right away? Damn, man.
I mean, look at how well she reads.
When do you start to read?
She's already reading. You give her a little book and she'll like start going. She's not even 2 years old.
She's not reading. She touches the words and says blah, 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 blah.
No, she makes the noises. She has an animal book. She'll open it and make the sound of every animal on each different page. She's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's almost ready for Harry Potter.
Come on. Okay, I think, depending on the age, but like the first book is Amber City.
Okay.
Just the standalone. I wouldn't...
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
a series, but like if you just read to Amber City, it's really good. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
Like it teaches you about like story and it's like it's not too crazy. Some things like suspenseful stuff happens, but not too bad. Like I mean the grandma dies, but you know.
Spoiler.
Grandma died. They do die. Not everybody's.
Oh, everybody's.
And then I would do something like definitely the Percy Jackson ones.
Yeah, I also think, no, I'm just saying, like, I think we could read her the first Harry Potter book. Like, we don't have to read them all at once to her. You know what I mean?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight? We start tonight?
Yeah. But no, there's so much fun to be had, and like,
and would
obviously the Hunger Games comes way later.
The Hunger Games are intense.
Is heavy.
I was gonna say
and
that.
Peeta brings a little too much like handsomeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Divergent, but no.
No, are you crazy?
There's
no.
some steam scene. Like I would have to rip a couple pages out of that book.
No, we will be censoring.
Yeah.
Divergent.
Have you ever read a book that was like perfect in your life that just kind of like hit and help you? You're like, this book, this time of my life, what?
Not really. I mean, I remember when I read The Hunger Games, I was like, what? And same like Divergent, like all those books, like they were like synopsis forming experiences for me. Like they were just like, wow, reading is so incredible. But obviously Harry Potter too, but I remember when I read Prior of the Orange Tree a few years ago, I was like, I mean, it didn't like help me in some kind of like formative way or something, but I remember being like, this is an incredible book.
Yeah.
Like I remember feeling that way. So yeah, I guess more recently I would say Prior of the Orange Tree.
I'm really in love with you, my guy.
That would be really nice.
Thank you. Thank you for
taking the time.
Taking the time. I'll see you next year.